5,000 kilometers from New Zealand and 5,400 kilometers from South America. Today, we journey into the vast distance to explore the remotest place on Earth, the Pitcairn Islands. This remote cluster, shrouded in mystery and intrigue, is the last remaining British colony in the Pacific. Just the journey to reach them feels eternal. However, the most exciting thing about the islands lies in their brutal history. All inhabitants originate from a group of 9 British mutineers who, due to the strong isolation, descended into extreme brutality, with only one ultimately surviving. This story is about mutiny, loyalty, and the relentless fight for survival. Our tale begins over a millennium ago, when the first people likely reached these islands. These early visitors were Polynesians, who somehow found their way to this isolated paradise. The details of their life here and the reasons for their eventual departure remains lost to time. The recorded saga of Pitcairn truly begins in 1790 with the infamous mutiny on the British frigate HMS Bounty. This ship was on a mission to supply British outposts in Tahiti, but the tropical allure proved too strong for some of the crew. Some crew members fell in love with the native women and refused to return to Great Britain. So a group mutinied under the leadership of Fletcher Christian, hijacked the ship, and set the captain and the loyal crew members adrift on a small lifeboat. For the mutineers, it was clear that they had to expect death after this action, which is why they decided to look for a place to hide. The leader of the mutineers knew of the uninhabited Pitcairn Islands, which existed on British charts, but whose coordinates were incorrectly drawn. After a long search, they landed on the Pitcairn's main island in January 1790 and settled there. They brought plants and animals from their ship and built a primitive settlement, which still serves as the main town of the island today. Then they set their ship on fire to conceal their whereabouts so that it could never be found. Initially, life on Pitcairn was a hard-won peace, and they were able to establish a new home away from civilization. But tensions rose beneath the surface. The small community consisted of 9 European mutineers, 6 Polynesian men, and 12 Polynesian women. The Europeans each took 1 Polynesian woman as wives, leaving the 6 Polynesian men with only 3 women to share. Additionally, the Europeans imposed their European way of life on the others. This imbalance sowed the seeds of discord. The situation escalated tragically when John Williams, a blacksmith, took one of the women from the Polynesians after his own wife died. Enraged, the Polynesian men killed Williams and 3 other Europeans. In retaliation, the surviving Europeans massacred all the Polynesian men. The following years were marked by violence and descended into chaos. After these brutal riots, the surviving Europeans turned to brewing and drinking their own alcohol. They learned to ferment whatever sugary plants they could find, including the tea plant, which Polynesians traditionally used to make a mild fermented beverage. This led to further deaths from accidents and conflicts while intoxicated. By 1800, just 10 years after their arrival, only John Adams remained. In a move to restore order, he banned alcohol, became deeply religious, and managed to establish order, becoming the island's first leader and revered founding father. It was not until 1808 that an American whaler first stumbled upon the islands, followed by 2 British warships in 1814. Struck by the remarkable transformation under Adams' leadership, they granted him a pardon, sparing him from what would likely have been a death sentence. However, despite this act of clemency, the British asserted their authority over the islands, formally claiming them as a colony, a status they maintain to the present day. Over the years, natural disasters and the island's extreme isolation prompted many inhabitants to leave. However, some descendants of the mutineers returned, maintaining a resilient, close-knit community. Today, about 50 people live on the main island, preserving unique traditions and speaking Pitcairn English, a language born from their isolated heritage. The British government even encouraging immigration to the islands. So if you're feeling adventurous and considering a move to the Pitcairn Islands, the British government has some tempting offers for you. Free land, complete tax exemption, and even a somewhat stable Wi-Fi connection. But let's be real, despite these perks, the extreme isolation has kept most people from packing their bags. Just reaching the Pitcairn Islands is a formidable journey reserved for the most adventurous. Yet, in recent years, even cruise ships have dared to navigate these waters, bringing a welcome economic boost to the local community. The Pitcairn Islands have long contended with Tristan da Cunha for the title of the most isolated island in the world. Although the journey to the latter islands takes more time, the Pitcairn Islands clearly outstrip Tristan da Cunha in terms of measured distance from every continent. Thank you for watching.